It is Texas Rangers manager Bruce Bochy. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, fellas.
So I know you've told us before, like, it's a long season and there are plenty of ups and downs, and you're used to this. You've seen things like this before. I want to know, to start off with, what would be your message to the Metroplex? Because there's a huge fan base that, much like you guys, has been really frustrated as of late.
Yeah, as we all are. And, more than anything is we still have baseball left, and that's how we have to look at it. When you go through a homestand like that and you're fighting to get to the postseason, those are setbacks that you have to deal with sometimes. And but you can't stop believing. And we did some good things but in that last series, the long ball got us. But we got to score runs, and we got to give this pitching staff a margin of error. But there's nobody here that doesn't think that we can get this done. It just takes another roll from us, like a 8-1, 10-1 or something, and we're right back in it. We got our hands full here in Toronto. We're going to be playing a good team. The schedule, it's been a tough schedule with the pitching that we've seen, the teams that we're playing. But hey, we think we're that good, then we will find a way to win these ball games. I can tell you, those guys. Yesterday they did a lot of good things after coming off another tough loss. So that's what I like about what I'm seeing to this point is the tough losses. They're bouncing back and winning the next day. But to lose one like we did yesterday, that's one that really hurt. It stings, but you got to put it behind you. I think the day off came at a good time. The guys will get a little bit of break, and hopefully we'll reset. And with the losses at home, hopefully we'll find a way to make up those games here on the road. We got Toronto and Kansas City, and DeGrom going tomorrow, and I just think this team still has it in them to get on the roll where we can win 8, 9, 10 in a row here. We have the pitching that can do it.
You talk about doing some good things yesterday. Yeah, Ezekiel Duran, that throw was freaking awesome yesterday. That was really cool to see from him. Can you do me a favor, Boch? Can you kind of explain what it does to a pitcher when they're always pitching in these high leverage, like 1-run situations, versus whenever they're pitching with a bigger lead?
Yeah, well, I talk about margin of error. So, you can attack the hitters a lot easier and challenge them probably a little bit more in the middle of the plate when you do have, some room to work with, especially with that lineup that we saw. But the long ball got us. We gave up 9 home runs in that series, and we got to a point where I know Phil felt like he just had to get that breaking ball over. But the guy that beat us, for the last 2 games of that series, he killed us. He was 4 for 5 yesterday, and he's a really good hitter. He had home runs on both sides. And you look at his OPS, and Carroll behind him. The top of their order. They did a lot of damage, and that's what we have to have happen for us. At that top of the order, just do damage and find ways to get runs on the board for us. But get back to what you're talking about. Yeah, I think it's good that they have pitched in so many games, so that experience is invaluable. But at the same time, you would like to have a little breathing room where they don't feel like they have to make a perfect pitch, late in the ball game on every pitch.
Robert Garcia had a really strong July, but in a world of what have you done for me lately, a pretty rough August thus far, does that change your view on using him short-term in high-leverage situations at all?
No, I tell you, he's thrown the ball well the last 2 or 3 outings. He shot himself in the foot by not handling the ball hit back to him. A pitcher's fielding practice that we go through so many times that we call it PFP. He just totally mishandled that. He missed it first of all. Then he decided to punt it, and then the last move's one that got us. I'm sure he looks at it going, "What was I thinking with that flip?" But that's what hurt him there. But I think he's got his confidence back. He's got that swagger that he had earlier, which he lost after giving up the long ball. So he's still in the mix. Because we have 3 left-handers now. I can't use them every day. So these 3 were kind of mixing it up so we can give them a break. And Milner was a guy yesterday, and because Danny and I was trying to give Robert another day because he did work hard the day before. On yesterday's game.
Now, you talk about swagger, and we're moving over to the right-handed side of the bullpen. Cole Winn, somebody who, a couple days ago gave up the, I believe it was a leadoff double and then strikeout. He seems like somebody who has really found his way. Is there anything you think he discovered or maybe tweaked that has made him very effective this year?
I think more than anything, it's the confidence that he's showing now. He's had this stuff. The guy throws 96, 97 with 4 pitches. He's got that split for the lefties. He's got the cutter for them, and he's got the curveball. So he's tough on both lefties and righties. And when you have velo and a good changeup, that works up here. But the most important thing is throwing strikes, and that's what he has learned to harness is his command, his control in the strike zone. And so we've always thought this guy can be a major league pitcher in the bullpen or maybe even start. But right now he's a reliever. He's a guy that is going to help us late in the ball game.
Rangers manager Bruce Bochy joined us here on the K&C Masterpiece on 105.3 The Fan. You previously, in the last couple of games, you've had some pretty good pinch hit moments from some of these guys. You were a pretty good pinch hitter back in your time as well. Can you kind of tell me about the batter's mentality in a pinch hit situation? I feel like you got to have some balls to go up there and do that.
Yeah, it's an art. It really is. It takes experience sometimes with some of these guys because they're not used to doing it. I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but when you come up through the minor leagues, you're playing every day. You're not pitch hitting, and so you come up to the big leagues, you become a role player. And I was talking about my first time I had to pinch hit. I said, this is the hardest thing ever. I don't know how guys do it because you're so amped up. You're swinging at everything. Just the nerves, the adrenaline's going. And I said it's a beautiful drug when you learn to control it. And so with time, you learn to control that and let it work for you because you're getting up for one at bat. And it's amazing how when you do learn to control it, how much better it makes you. It's almost like a reliever coming in, a sprinter. I'm talking about a one-inning reliever. They come in and just let it go as hard as they can. Well, it's the same with the pinch hitter, but now he's controlling it so the bat feels so light in your hand. And so the fastball, it's easy to catch up with. And I think you learn to to slow it down to where, you're on every pitch. And that's why some guys are better pinch hitting and playing every day because there's only one at bat they have to get themselves up for. And so it's so important for a club to have a good pinch hitter or two on the bench because those guys make a difference in your season.
I have no doubt whatsoever, especially this late in the season, that a bunch of guys are really working through some things physically and they're dinged up. And so I have no doubt that Adolis needs time to heal up his ankle. But does this IL stint also give him a time to maybe reconfigure mentally a bit?
Oh, I think so. I think you always have to look at it that way, too. He's been out there about every day. So, last year he missed a lot of games. But, physically he's handled it. He wants to be out there. Days we talked about giving him a day off. He begs his way back in there. He wants to play. He's dealing with not having the success that he was hoping to have or he's accustomed to having. And so, I think it can help reset him, too, by sitting back, watching the game, and relaxing a little bit more and just catching your breath and realized that, hey, I got to get back to enjoying this, having fun. And I think he's been grinding too hard.
And then with his departure, at least short term, the return of Evan Carter, what is the hope that he can do to spark this offense?
Well, exactly what he did yesterday.
Right.
He gives us quality ABs. He sees pitches, gives the speed. Hits that ball. As a single for most guys, I mean, it's a double for him easily. So, yeah, he gives us just another dynamic in the lineup that we don't have a lot of, and that's guys that are comfortable at seeing pitches, having longer at bats, drawing walks, things like that, but also a guy that can flat out hit. And so it was good to see him have the game that he had. I was a little concerned if he had enough at bats in the minor leagues, but I mean, he only had one game, but he faced, I think, lefties 2 or 3 of those at bats, but came up, his timing was there, and so it was great to see.
What have you thought about his maturation against left-handed pitchers this year then? Just generally, not just in general for the season.
Yeah, in general. He's still work in progress there, and that's only because he hasn't seen a lot of them.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a platoon player for his career. Right now, at his age, the number of bats that he's had to see left-handers, it's hard to hit them. That takes time, and so I think he's seen them better. And the bats that he has, he's gotten some walks. I think he's put the ball in play better, and so I think he's getting more and more comfortable. And there's times when I let him see the left-handers, and that will continue to happen. But if we have a right-handed batter on the bench that has the numbers that we feel is our better chance to do something, well, I have to hit for him. And I've talked to him about this. I don't want him thinking about it right now. I just want him doing his thing, especially against righties. But he'll see the lefties occasionally.
Well, like you said, we still got 40 games to go, so best of luck to you. Best of luck to the guys against Toronto starting tomorrow.
Well, thanks. Yeah, we got to snap out of this and put that last homestand behind us and get our guys swinging. I keep saying that this team has shown signs of it. We saw some good things yesterday. It's good having Carter back, and I like what Berger did. And if we get these guys going, this team can get on a roll like that.
I think it's time to go get Rangers, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thank you very much.
Okay, guys.